Hello everyone and welcome to my second review video, which is I believe, third week. Or is it my third review video? I don't know. But anyway, this is the third week, everything I watched the third week of January 2021. It is a bit late, so I apologise, but I've had other commitments, so I haven't been able to make it until now. But I've got some time now, so I'm going to do some videos back to back. So I'm just going to get straight on to what I watched. So first off, I watched The Devil Wears Prada, and I mainly watched this for Meryl Streep, as she is my favourite actress, and I had not yet seen this, and I'd heard good things about this, and I was expecting it to be an enjoyable film, but it wasn't really for me. Meryl Streep was good in it, Anne Hathaway was good in it, but I don't think the film is really aimed for me. So I don't think it's a bad film. I could see that this would have a fan base, but I'm not that fan base. I didn't particularly enjoy the film. Um, I would just say it was okay. I didn't really laugh, but it was just alright. I'll just leave it there. It was alright. Next up, well, next up is probably one of the worst films I've seen in a long time. Uh, and the reason I watched this is because it was directed by the Coen brothers. I'd bought it cheap on Blu-ray, now getting rid of it. But it was directed by the Coen brothers and it had George Clooney in it, so I was instantly drawn to it. And that is Intolerable Cruelty. Um, the Coen brothers have done two of my favourite films of all time. They're in my top 10, two of their films. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't get through this film. It was half an hour left, I think, and I just could not put the effort in to watch the rest of it. It was so boring. The story was ludicrous. It was like children had written it. It was so bad. Um, the only reason that I have not given this 0 stars, I'm not going to say how many stars I gave. Well, I gave it half. I'm I'm going to mention the stars at the end anyway. But it's because the acting was average, just average. It was okay. It wasn't badly acted, but it was a bad film, very bad film. So definitely do not watch this film. It's not a good film. Anyway, next up, I watched Bulletproof, which stars Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans, and I was just looking for something that was pretty short, an easy watch, and you didn't really have to think much to it. And even though people diss Adam Sandler and say quite a lot of his films are bad, I enjoy all of them. They are bad films, but they're enjoyable. Most of them make me laugh, and that's all that they need to do, really, to be a film that I would like to watch. Um, I heard this was quite a decent film from the 90s, and I hadn't seen it before, so I thought I'd give it a watch. It was leaving Netflix a few days after I'd watched it, so I thought I'll watch it now before it goes. And all I'm going to say is overall, it was good. Okay. The story was good. The acting was good. But overall, it was just a very average film. It's less than an hour and a half, so if you've not got anything else to watch, I would recommend watching it if you like Adam Sandler. It's fairly entertaining, but there's not, as I say, it's quite short and not a lot happens. So yeah, it's alright. Sorry, apologies. My mouse. Right, next up, I watched Bourne Ultimatum. So I watched the first two Bourne films in about November last year. And all I'm going to say, well, not, I've got a bit to say about this. To me, this is almost, the Bourne Ultimatum is the best, in my opinion, it's not a trilogy now, in the series. It's the best to me, and it is almost a perfect film, almost. Um, say what you will about the shoddy camera work from Paul Greengrass. That's what he does. Didn't bother me, but the action and the tension in this film, particularly, I think was a lot better than the other films. It had me gripped all the way through. I didn't want to use my phone at all, which I have got a habit of doing, I will admit. Because there was action almost all the time during this film. You also find out a lot more. The story progresses quite a lot, because in some ways this is the end of the series, because you find out who Bourne really is. The action choreography was brilliant. I think it's probably the best I've seen in an English language, not a non-English language. That would go to the Raid film. Um, as I say, almost perfect film to me. It was good. It was, well, I don't know why I'm saying it's good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and if you've not seen any of the Bourne films, I'd recommend checking them out, specifically the Bourne Ultimatum. Next up, I watched, as you will see, or as you have seen, I don't know which yet, I don't know when these videos are going up, what order. I watched Amistad, which I recently picked up. It's a Steven Spielberg film that I had not yet watched, and I was really interested in the plot because I didn't know anything about it, so I wanted to check it out. I will say it's a very harrowing film, and there are quite brutal scenes. So if you're quite squeamish and you don't like blood or gore, I would not watch this. It's not the type of film. It is quite a heavy film because it is about slavery, but it's very good. It's very well done, and I will say, I think you pronounce Jimon Honsu. I think is how you pronounce his name. He is a highlight in this film. He's in a lot of more films nowadays, but I think this was probably one of his first films. He doesn't even speak English in. I think he says two words of English in the whole film. But his performance was very powerful. Um, and if you're interested in any historical films or any films that are about slavery, I would definitely recommend checking this out, even though it is rather long. If you've got the time and if you own it or you have the opportunity to watch it, I wouldn't pass up on it. It's a very good film and it's definitely worth watching. Next up, I watched The Bourne Legacy, which for some reason was the last film in the Bourne series that I needed to watch, because before watching all of the other Bourne films, I'd already seen Jason Bourne for some reason. I didn't know anything about the other films, it was just on at the time and I decided to watch it. Um, Now, before I get into anything more, I will say The Bourne Legacy is not a bad film. The Bourne franchise is a great franchise to me, but this is definitely the weakest in the franchise, and I blame that on the fact that they did not. Well, I think Matt Damon chose not to be in it, and that makes the film a lot weaker because it's not got the characters that we know and that we care about. And the characters in these films I didn't particularly care about. They were alright. I don't think this film was very necessary. It didn't really move the story much further, I don't think. It was more of a side story. Um, I think it was watchable. As I say, it wasn't a particularly bad film. It was watchable, but I don't think it was a necessary film to be made. It was quite a bit longer than all the other Bourne films, which is another thing that was bad about it. But if you like the if you don't want to watch it, you don't need to watch the other Bourne films. But if you want to watch them all, I'd say check it out. It's okay. It was average, I would say. Next up, I checked out Armageddon. What I say checked out, I've already seen it before. I wanted to watch it again. This is my favourite disaster film, and whilst it isn't a great film, it is quite cheesy. It is a film that I enjoy. I think it's better than Deep Impact, which was released at the same time. I didn't enjoy Deep Impact that much. It was an alright film, but not as good as Armageddon to me. And I think that what makes Armageddon a better film is that there's a strong love story in it, and I've said this before, but I do like a good love story. I also think the fact that they were in space for most of the film is another stronger thing, whereas Deep Impact, not a lot really goes on. I know they do go up to try and stop the asteroid or meteor or whatever, but there's about 10 minutes in total of that. It's not as good. It's probably one of my favorite Michael Bay films. I mean, The Rock's pretty good as well, but this is probably definitely up there. And if you've not seen this, I would definitely recommend checking it out because it is good and it is entertaining. It is 2.5 hours, but if you like it, then it shouldn't bother you. But yeah, that is Armageddon. Getting down to my final two films I watched this week, and next I watched Birdman, which you'll see in the monthly haul video. And I remember watching this when it was first released back in 2014, but I was too young to really understand it and appreciate it back then because of my age. So I wanted to watch it again because I'd heard a lot of good things about this. And I've got to say, this is an absolutely perfect film. And there's nothing in this film, I mean, some people may be able to fault it, but there's nothing in this film that I personally can fault. I thought the script was excellent, the acting from Michael Keaton was career best, the cinematography was outstanding, the editing was, I could just go on about everything that was good in this film. All I can say to people that haven't seen Birdman, if you love cinema and you haven't seen this, it's an absolute must watch for everyone that loves cinema. It's a stunning film and one of the most well done films that I have seen. So that's Birdman. That's an absolutely excellent film. And the final film I watched this week, which I watched today, as of this recording of this video, which is the 29th, was Dallas Buyers Club. So, as you've seen from Birdman, I've been in the mood to watch some Oscar winners recently that I've not seen, and I wanted to check this one out as I've not seen it, and I'd heard it was a great film, and I must say it definitely was a great film. The story is very moving, and that's probably due to the fact that it's very real and it happened and it is still happening now. The plot of this, it's about HIV and AIDS, and I think the performances from McConaughey and Jared Leto were probably the best I've seen from them as of yet. I've not seen all of their films, but to me, they were the strongest I have seen. Whilst the subject of this film is quite heavy, and it could be quite difficult for some people to watch, it is a very good film, and I would say it's a very important film to watch so you understand more about HIV and AIDS, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that hasn't already watched this before. Shorter than normal, but that is the end of my weekly review videos. If you've seen any of the films that I have watched this week, let me know in the comments down below what you think of them. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you can be notified when I have new videos, because I don't post on a regular schedule, as you will see from this video, which should be going up today, Friday the 29th. So yeah, until the next time, bye.